devastated. Why hasn't anyone told us about this?
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wasahbi ajmain, amma ba'du. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Ketemu lagi kita sahabat. Terima kasih sebelumnya atas subscribe-nya, atas like-nya dan komennya. Di video saya sebelumnya, saya membuat video reaction tentang seorang ulama yang sangat bagus sekali dan sangat menyentuh sekali ceramahnya. Walaupun hanya sebentar, hanya beberapa menit, tapi mampu membuat kita tersentuh hatinya. Sewaktu video yang sebelumnya, saya sempat bertanya dan menyediakan hadiah untuk sahabat-sahabat yang bisa menjawab siapakah nama dari Ustadz yang ceramah itu, ulama yang berceramah itu. Dan sudah ada yang menjawab, yaitu Ibu Nurul Hayati. Terima kasih atas jawabannya. Menurut beliau, yang berceramah itu adalah Dr. Khalil Abdul Rashid dari Amerika. Subhanallah, semoga video dari beliau banyak ditonton orang banyak dan memberi manfaat untuk yang melihatnya. Baik, sekarang saya mau reaction video tentang seorang ibu, mungkin bisa dibilang nenek ya. Saya lihat banyak sekali yang komen-komennya bagus ya, terharu gitu. Jadi saya penasaran mau nonton juga pengalaman beliau ketika memutuskan untuk masuk Islam. Subhanallah, sekarang di era keterbukaan ini begitu banyak pengalaman-pengalaman saudara-saudara kita yang masuk Islam, dan itu sangat membuat kita bahagia dan bersyukur. Terlebih kita sendiri terakhir sebagai muslim, semakin menumbuhkan rasa syukur kita. Oke, saya nggak panjang-panjang, kita mulai aja ya. Kita lihat videonya sama-sama. Pengalaman dari seorang ibu. Ya, ini saya juga nggak tahu nih, dari video aslinya dari JM, tapi ininya saya nggak tahu nama akunnya apa gitu, karena bahasa Arab gundul. Nah, saya menyediakan hadiah satu gamis untuk sahabat-sahabat yang bisa membantu saya untuk menjawab ini video aslinya itu nama akunnya apa sih gitu. Tolong nanti komen ya di bawah. Oke, kita mulai aja ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I moved to Winter Haven to be with my twin sister. And I had left the local church that I was in, and I felt sad that I was leaving. But when I think about it, I've been in many, many denominations, in and out, and the local church was the last church that I was in. And one evening, I just decided to go to God. For no reason at all, I just went to God in prayer and asked Him that I wanted the truth, no matter what it takes. Well, I said this 3 different times, 3 different days. And then one night I was ready to retire when with the doorbell rang, and my twin said, "Your daughter's here." And I says, "My daughter? Which one?" And she said, "Lou." So anyway, I went to greet her and came back, and I saw her, she was all covered differently.
I'm an American citizen, born in a suburb of Chicago, Illinois called Evergreen Park. And both of my parents were born in Chicago, Illinois. My mother's side of the family was Roman Catholic, my father's side Protestant.
I had mentioned to my daughter, Lou, I've been praying for the truth, no matter what it takes. And I said this 3 different times.
I returned to the United States and I went to my mother. I was praying constantly at my mother's house for guidance from God as to whether or not I should say anything to my mother about who I was or what I believed. I was praying actually to my God that if my mother's heart is ready to hear this information, then give me a sign. Let her come to me. If she comes to me and asks me, I will say something to her. Otherwise, I will remain silent. One afternoon, I was in the middle of my prayers. I was in prostration and she walked into my bedroom and walked out.
Because I saw her kneeling that night and she was prostrated. And that seemed strange to me.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, my mother came to me waking me up from sleep and asking me 2 specific questions. She said, "I'm so sorry to disturb you, but I just have to ask you 2 things." And I said, "Well, go ahead, Mom, what is it?" And she said to me,
"Are you still a Christian?
And what do you think about what the Christians teach regarding the Trinity? That God is 3 and 1 and 1 and 3. My response to my mother at that moment was, "Tonight, when your sister goes to sleep, I will be happy to sit with you and to explain to you who I am and why I am who I am."
And after my sister went to sleep, and she would share.
So at 12 o'clock that night, my mother's sister went to sleep, and Mom and I gathered around a small table in a breakfast nook of the kitchen. On top of the table, I had the Quran, the Bible, and my own personal study, handwritten study notebook. We sat and had a discussion for 2 hours, going back to our original beliefs and progressing through what we've always been taught, both in the Catholic Church, in the Protestant churches. And then I introduced Islam to my mother, the Quran, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we both completed this discussion, it was exactly 2 hours later, 2 o'clock in the morning. And my mother reached over on the table.
I picked up the Quran and held it to my face and kissed it. I stated, "Why hasn't anyone told us about this?
Why hasn't anyone told us about this?"
Noor taught me how to pray, how to wash before prayer,
how to perform the correct body movements for ritual prayer, and encourage her to memorize the opening chapter or surah of the Quran, which is called the opening in Arabic, al-Fatiha, and to memorize this in English.
In English and some in Arabic.
She was memorizing and working on memorizing this in English so that she would have a clear understanding of the meaning of her prayer first, and then gradually she progressed.
So then I continued with my reading and studying the Quran.
After I completed my mother in her house and I felt comfortable that she was fine, I left my mother's home to take care of some personal matters of myself.
I've been in Islam for many years, reading and studying and praying. And then one night, Allah guided me to an ayat and a surah, and it mentioned this day. I have perfected your religion.
اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا فمن اضطر في مخمصة غير متجانف لإثم فإن الله غفور رحيم.
Praise Allah.
Go the extra mile.
Insyaallah. Alhamdulillah ya Allah. Masya Allah. Selalu tersentuh gitu kalau melihat bagaimana perjalanan seseorang sampai menemukan Islam. Mereka yang baru menemukan Islam begitu bahagia. Bagaimana dengan kita yang sudah terlahir sebagai muslim? Pernahkah kita bersyukur sampai mengeluarkan air mata seperti mereka? Masya Allah. Ini betul-betul menyentuh hati kita, bukan sahabat? Banyak sekali sih, saya sudah beberapa cerita, sudah lama sering melihat video muslim yang revert ke Islam gitu. Masya Allah. Sampai speechless gini. Alhamdulillah, di usianya ibu ini Allah memberikan hidayahnya. Semoga beliau istiqomah. Masya Allah, perjalanannya ya, membaca sehingga yakin dengan apa yang dipilihnya. Subhanallah. Baiklah sahabat, mungkin segitu dulu video kali ini. Kalau suka, subscribe, like dan share ke teman-teman supaya lebih banyak lagi yang melihat video-video bagus yang mungkin menginspirasi kita. Sekian, terima kasih. Jangan lupa ada hadiah 1 gamis untuk yang bisa menjawab video ini. Aslinya dari akun YouTube apa namanya gitu, karena ini tulisannya cuma GM aja sih gitu. Ya, terima kasih sahabat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.